Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 2. And today I'm going to be giving you part 2 of What If Naruto had all the chakra of Indra, Ashura, and Hagoromo. Yes guys. Part 2, remember to get this one to 100 like as usual. Share this to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto was the son of Orochimaru with multiple guys, and enjoy that guys. And remember, for new, yes I indeed have 4 channels: Anime King 2, Anime King 3, and Anime Prince, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead, check them out, and yeah, enjoy. And don't forget to comment down below and tell me if you're new. So without further ado, what do you say we jump right into this brand new episode begin now guys. So, the last spot we left off, a young 4-year-old Naruto was making his way through the forest, as he's been walking for some time now. He was Naruto Uchiha Namikaze. His father, Minato Uchiha Namikaze, was also a Uchiha, who had kept his lineage a secret because of who his father was. His father was Madara Uchiha, that made Naruto the grandson of Madara Uchiha himself. Yes, quite a powerful background. But despite that, Minato had never chosen to really blend himself amongst the Uchihas. There has been some conflict with the Uchihas, believing that their power has been taken since the Kyuubi attack. However, because of Minato taking a seat, majority of them were calm enough to relax, seeing that the Uchiha, despite one that was not really with them, was, well, with it. Naruto was also the container of the Nine Tails. Him being the container of the Nine Tails was something that he did not know about, but he did see the way people looking at him though. But they would not dare to make it obvious because they would have the wrath of the Hokage and the Uchiha clan after them. Naruto found himself near the base of a tree. On that tree, Naruto saw the fountains of the Uchiha and the Senju clan coming together as a joint forces. He saw writings that were from Madara Uchiha and writings from Uchiha Senju. That is when Minato found him, as he told him not to run off by himself like that again. As Naruto apologized, he had lost his mother on the day that he had, well, been born. She died during childbirth, as Naruto was saddened that he never got to meet her. However, his father has been there for him ever since. As both of them made their way, Naruto told his father that he wanted to become a ninja, as Minato spoke to him about that, going into more detail, thinking of what it meant to be a ninja. Minato had shown Naruto what this world truly was, the horrors that this world truly contains, so that is why, despite being young, Naruto was far more mature for his age. A nice, quiet child, but he was insanely mature. As both of them went to get some ramen the next day, they were in the field, as Minato had Naruto unlock his chakra. Upon releasing his chakra, a wild, purple fluctuation of power exploded out of Naruto. The fluctuation was massive and rather deadly, as it was insanely powerful, as Naruto ended up tiring himself out. We then had a little description of the man himself, the Sage of Six Paths. The 2 lines that were from his family had joined together into one offspring. Thus, he had implanted his power in the boy as well, giving Naruto the power of Ashura, Indra, and the Sage himself. As Naruto was too young, but the symbols in his hands were not showing until he reached in deep. Some time passed as Naruto was meditating like his father told him when he felt it. He felt the chakra around him, so he reached and pulled onto it. Naruto was unaware that he was tugging onto nature and just he pulled it in his body. He allowed it to go around him and wrap around him tightly, as everyone felt it wash over the village. Minato and Kakashi arrived on the scene to see Naruto as they explained what that was, as Naruto was shocked. Jiraiya was called in not too long after as Naruto even got to meet the Toads as well. He had met Itachi sometime earlier as Sasuke. He had promised that he would bring Sasuke over so they could gain friends, as Naruto did not understand kids his own age sometime. Maybe he was just too mature for them, but he wanted friends. He wanted to live a normal childhood, but now, Naruto had grown exponentially with the unlocking of his powers and the moon, and the sun mark appear in his hand. Some time passed as Naruto was training. As Naruto allowed his chakra to wail in front of him, he allowed the chakra to transform into a fist as he blasted right through a tree. He was able to control his chakra to an extent that it would even shock the legendary Sannin Tsunade herself. As Naruto was being watched, there was hidden stone shinobis that were moving near Konoha borders despite Konoha already sending them a message that they didn't like it. The hidden stone ninjas were said to be missing names, but Minato would not put it over Oniki to label these ninjas missing names for him to use them and would have a liability to say that he had nothing to do with this. As Naruto was attacked by the Anbu that was watching him, the Anbu was just curious, being a bit playful to see how Naruto would react. As he sent kunais towards him, Naruto went up in smoke as the Anbu felt a kunai pressing against his throat. As Naruto asked him what was he trying to do, and who is he, as he had appeared behind the Anbu in a quick flash step. So yeah guys, basically as we left off, you guys can switch across to play check of yourself, and don't forget to go ahead and check out the other what ifs of the other channels. Yes, I indeed have 4 of them which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So without further ado, what do you say we jump right into this brand new episode? Begin now guys. So, Itachi was not kidding about his sensory abilities. He must have known I was here from the start. The kid is probably better than many of the veteran sensory ninjas, the shinobi said as he felt the kunai press up against his throat. As Naruto could feel the surprise from the shinobi, and he could not blame him. It's not every day you see a 5-year-old evade an attack with such ease. Although Naruto knew that this shinobi bear no ill will towards him, he wanted to know why was he attacked. As the raven-haired boy turned towards him with a smirk, as Naruto wondered why he was gone. Naruto was cut off as the shinobi just vanished. As Naruto looked down to see him on the ground, looking up at him. You're indeed good, Naruto-kun. I can see why Itachi-kun speaks so highly of you, the shinobi said with a smirk. Now Naruto was surprised. He had never seen someone perform the sunshine so effortlessly and with such immense speed. As Naruto hooked his arm on the tree and flipped, before he landed on his feet and looked towards the individual in front of him. As he had an idea of who he was. Are you Shisui Uchiha? Ah, you know of me. He was amused that someone as young as Naruto knew about him, despite him being the Hokage's son. Yeah, Itachi told me about you, said Naruto, with a small smile, remembering hearing about Shisui, of the body flicker technique, the Sunshin no Shisui. As Naruto had heard a lot about him, Shisui nodded as he sat down, as he patted the air next to him. As Naruto walked over and sat beside him, Shisui was, well, in disbelief when he heard about what Itachi told him about Naruto prodigal arts. Despite having the blood of the Hokage running through his veins, the kid is only 5, he had thought to himself. However, from what he could see so far, he was amazed. The way he spoke and kept his guard up, it showed how far he was ahead of his peers. Thinking about that brought a sad smile to his face though. Sorry, Naruto-kun, he thought to himself, in a whisper. As Naruto did not hear him, but he did see the sad smile on Shisui's face. But he saw something else as well. It's the same smile that he saw, a sad smile that his father, Jiraiya, Kakashi, that they all had on their face. It was like they were apologizing for something out of their reach. He never understood it. Why would they look at him like that? Was it because of the overwhelming amount of chakra inside of him that felt different than his own? He had a vague idea as to who it belonged to, but he never thought much about it. He believed that his father would tell him once the time was right. As Naruto lay on his back, as he could see the moon, his gaze lingering on the moon for a long while. He didn't understand why, but he always felt a connection to the moon, especially when he could see the full moon. The connection was strong. Why did you look at me that way, said Naruto. After a bit of silence, Shisui shifted as his elbows were on the ground, as he glanced towards the heavens. You're different from other kids, Naruto. Kids your age normally play outside, laugh, and run around. Meanwhile, you're training in the shinobi arts. You keep your guard up all the time. The way you think is far too obtuse. As he looked back towards Naruto, the soft smile on his face, as he placed a hand on Naruto's head. I'm sorry that even during these times, you cannot live like other children your own age. This world has a lot of darkness in it, but where there is darkness there is also light. I'm sure that you know of it, don't you? Shisui saw the slight confusion on Naruto's face, as he chuckled a bit and ruffled Naruto's hair, earning a pout from Naruto as he got back to his feet. What do you mean by that, Shisui-san? Said Naruto, as he got up and stretched his arms to lose the slight stiffness in them. You will understand it someday, Naruto-gun. It's not my place to tell you. As he started to walk back towards the village. Are you going to come or not? Shisui said. Yeah, said Naruto as he went after him. As the both of them walked. Why were you out here anyway? Naruto asked. I was asked by the Hokage to watch over you, in case of an attack from the hidden stone. As Naruto nodded in understanding, Jiraiya had told him about how the hidden stone disliked Konoha because of his father, and Madara as well, and Konoha positioned as the strongest out of all the great nations, and that many of them were sighted reselling near Konoha borders on numerous occasions. As they walked through the village, Shisui saw how some of the civilians whisper and glare. He looked down towards Naruto, but the child was not being affected by any of it. It's okay, Shisui-san. I've been hearing them say things like that ever since I could remember. It's not their fault. They fear what they don't understand, said Naruto. As he released a tired sigh, Shisui frowned at hearing that as he walked behind Naruto. He wanted to say something but he decided to stay quiet. It was around 8 at night as they stood beside the Namikaze compound. Will we meet again, Shisui-san? Said Naruto. Of course, he said. Also, if you want to, we can also train together sometimes. Hearing that, Naruto nodded his head. To train with someone like him would be awesome. As he waved goodbye as he headed inside. Later that night, Namikaze compound. It was late in the night, around 10:30, as Minato just arrived after a long day. He was tired and exhausted, not physically but mentally. The position of the Hokage is an extremely tiring job. Listening to the civilians' demand, take care of the paperwork, ensuring the welfare of the village, keeping the trades between Konoha and their allies stable, ensuring the needs of his shinobis under his command, ensuring the safety of the Konoha citizens, ensuring all the paperwork get done. He was glad when Shisui came and reported that his son had got home safely. With the increase of shinobis near the border of the land of grass and Taki, he did not want to take any liberty when it comes to Naruto's safety. Minato had lost a lot in his life, yes, a lot. Even till this day, when he thought about Kushina, he felt like breaking down. It was painful to watch her leave his side. She was his light in this dark world. His father often told him that he should find that special person who he is most comfortable with, and hold them close. For him it was now his son Naruto. He loved Konoha dearly, and he would do anything to ensure her safety. However, he would always pick Naruto first. He knew that he was acting tremendously selfish as the Hokage of all people, but he couldn't lose anyone else. As he was walking towards his bedroom to get changed, he walked as he saw Naruto in the library of their house, sitting on his knees as he was reading a book. As his face was locked in concentration, he looked toward his son's side as he saw several more books beside Naruto. He smiled seeing Naruto so immersed in the books, as Minato doubted that he even sensed that he was here. Instead of going to his room, he decided to see how long it will take for Naruto to notice him. However, what he saw made him widen his eyes. Naruto. Sometime earlier, after Shisui had left, Naruto did not go to his room. Instead, he went to the library in his house. The room consisted of 3 tall shelves that were filled with books. Most of them were related to ninjutsu in general. There was a small cupboard near the door that consists of Funjutsu scrolls. There were 2 decks in the room, one which was at the back that was normally used by Minato, with a lantern at the side, and a smaller one that Naruto used. Even though there were lamps inside the room, Naruto preferred to use a lantern to study. Hearing stories of how his grandfather studied during the warring era, Naruto figured that he should do something similar, in a way to feel closer to him. He was always enthralled when his father told him stories about his grandfather. Despite what others said about him, Naruto believed him to be a good man. Like any 5-year-old, he too wanted to imitate the one that he admired so much, as Naruto had made the habit of reading many books from a young age. Whether it be a history about Konoha, the history about ninjutsu, or the books related to chakra theory, he loved to read them. So here he sat again with a book on his decks. Elemental Chakra and Hand Signs. That was the title of the book. As he read the book, he learned about the different type of chakra. Fire, wind, water, earth, lightning. And their defensive type, and their weakness against the others. He learned the hand signs. What hand signs are commonly associated with what sort of abilities used. As Naruto finished reading the book, he had an idea in his mind that he wanted to try out. He knew that his chakra control was extremely advanced. Great, immensely so. His father and Jiraiya went as far to tell him that his chakra control can only be matched by Tsunade Senju. For the past year, he was made to work on several different chakra control exercises to make him familiarize with them. Some of the medical ninjas working in the hospital who were close friends with Kushina were quite fond of him, and they even taught him the theories and practical applications of medical ninjutsu. See no advanced his chakra control was. Apart from those, he was made to focus on taijutsu and the handling of weapons, shuriken and kunais. Although it took him some time to get his aim correct, Naruto could throw them now with pinpoint accuracy. Unknown to Minato, Naruto knew that he was standing there. Over the past year, his sensory ability has increased drastically. He could visualize the entire village of Konoha in his mind if he wanted to. Knowing that his father was watching him intently, he wanted to surprise him with what he had on his mind. As Naruto calmed himself, he inhaled and then exhaled. He then brought his hand up in the hand sign for a meditation. As he stayed in that position for a few minutes, he allowed his chakra to calm down. He then slowly went through hand signs: rat, ox, tiger. He then opened his eyes before he held out his palm. Suddenly, a small flame ignited right in the center of his palm. Minato, who was standing there, widened his eyes as he saw his son manipulate fire chakra as Naruto extinguished it. How far will you go, Naruto? He stared at Naruto with nothing but amazement in his eyes, shocked that someone was so young and could already use manipulation in elemental chakra. His son always surprised him every single time. Father, said Naruto. I see you've been busy, Naruto, said Minato, as he patted his son on the head. Wasn't it cool, father, said Naruto. I could manipulate fire. I remember you telling me that most of the Uchihas were affiliated with fire chakra nature. I wonder if I can perform other nature types, Naruto thought out loud. As he went into a thinking pose, Minato simply chuckled as he watched his son. Why don't we find out about it tomorrow? It's getting late. You should get some rest. Remember what I told you. You have to rest your body properly as well as your mind. Yes, said Naruto, as he ran to his bedroom. The next day, Namikaze compound, as Kakashi was standing next to a tree, giggling to himself as he read his orange book. Minato looked toward his student as he sighed. For what seemed to be the 1,000th time now, he never understood why Sensei wrote such smut, or why people read such a thing. He looked as he saw his son finishing his morning exercise of taijutsu katas and his physical endurance exercise. He was proud and impressed at the rate that Naruto was learning things. As he moved his hand through his silky blonde hair, as he glanced towards the heavens, I wish that you were here to see our son Kushina. You would be so proud of him, said Minato to himself. Kakashi, give me some chakra paper. It's time that we start Naruto with his elemental training. He has already learned the basic of what I had to teach him so far. Kakashi raised the eyebrow. He was just told to come here early without much details on what they were planning to do to help Naruto. But he never knew that he was this far in his training. Yes, he had helped Naruto on several occasions, but he was surprised he reached this far. He knew the blonde was a genius, one that only comes around once in a generation. Even he wasn't that good when he was 5 years old. As he pulled out the piece of white paper and handed it to his sensei, as Minato called Naruto over, as Naruto gave a full description about the different elements. Kakashi stood there impressed as Minato told Naruto how they would react to the chakra paper. Are you with me so far, he said, as Naruto nodded his head. Taking the paper in his hand, Naruto proceeded to add chakra into it. The paper split into 4 different pieces. The first one burned immediately. The second one became extremely damp. The third one crumbled to pieces, and the last one crinkled. As Naruto looked down towards the ground at the falling piece of paper, as he was excited that he could perform all of them, Minato and Kakashi was frozen in their spot, a dumb look on their face. After a long silence, Kakashi cleared his throat as he spoke. Well, that was surprising, Naruto, he said. Minato just nodded his head, as Naruto could feel how surprised the both of them were. Father, is that supposed to happen? Said Naruto. You said the maximum a person is born with is 2 or 3 types. Well, normally that's the case, Minato said. I haven't seen anything like this before. I'll have to ask Jiraiya-sensei about it, said Minato. As he thought about it, normally someone who's born with either 2 or 3, even the third Hokage, had to learn the others because no one was ever born with 5 chakra natures. This was just beyond surprising. However, more and more his son was just shattering his expectations. As he focused back on Naruto, you have more potential to become stronger if you're well versed with all the chakra nature transformation, said Minato. As Naruto smiled upon hearing that, as he nodded his head. So what now, father, he said. How should I train in these elements? As Naruto was extremely excited to learn that he had much more potential to become stronger. He could protect his father and village that way. As he had still remembered the words written by the first Hokage on that tree, he could feel the emotions in the way the words were written. More so, his grandfather also dreamt of a peaceful world. He will create a world where his father, his big brother, his friends could all live peacefully. Well, Naruto, that is why Kakashi is here right now. I have some important work to do at Hokage's office, so he will be helping you with the basics of starting the elemental manipulation training. Minato said as he looked towards Kakashi, making a silent request. Surprisingly, Kakashi nodded without any hesitation, as Minato was surprised. But it seems that Kakashi wanted to spend more time with Naruto, as Minato went away in a yellow flash, leaving the two alone. As Naruto turned his full gaze towards Kakashi, well, big brother, he said, what are we gonna do? As Kakashi's eyes smiled down towards Naruto. Well, he said, time skip, 2 years and 4 months later. Fire style, fireball jutsu, said one Kakashi Hatake as he exhaled a ball of flame from his mouth. Said ball of flame shoot straight towards Naruto himself. Seeing the flames rushing towards him, Naruto brought his hand up as he held it in the right hand sign. Water style, water wall, he said, as he started to spew out large amount of water from his mouth. The water then wrapped around him into a giant ball, as a fire style slammed right into it. Both techniques were cancelled out. A thick mist formed around the training ground, where Kakashi and Naruto were having their morning spar. He's gotten a lot better at using water. Ninjutsu, Kakashi thought. Not even a second later, 2 shurikens flashed out of the steam, rushing straight towards him as they were coated in wind chakra. They hit him, but poof, he substituted with a nearby log, as Kakashi now stood in the tree, looking downwards. He got a bit tense as he could not see Naruto anywhere, as the mist was clear but Naruto was nowhere to be seen. Kakashi could not sense him, and he knew it. In the past 2 years, Naruto had learned how to control his chakra to such a degree that he could completely mask it from his opponents, and they would not be able to sense him. Given that Kakashi wasn't a real big sensor, he could not find the blonde, using sensory ability. However, he started to scan the area, using his Sharingan trying to find the blonde. Kakashi then made 3 hand signs before he held out his hand. Lightning started to crackle all over it. The sounds of birds chirping could be heard all over. He jumped out of the tree and drove his hand into the ground with excessive force. Shidori! For a few seconds the ground crackled with electricity. Then a large explosion took place. A large crater formed within the training ground, as 3 Naruto could be seen within the rubble. Believing that Naruto had used a hiding, like a mole technique, to hide underground from him. 2 of them then proceeded to leap towards him, as the third one jumped away. Seeing the 2 Naruto jump towards him, which he now knew were shadow clones, Kakashi made a shadow clone of his own, as he proceeded to jump back. The first clone threw a punch towards Kakashi's chest. As the clone, Kakashi ducked under the punch and brought his hand upwards. However, the second Naruto clone slammed his heel down on Kakashi's hand, stopping him. The clone had braced itself as it did not dispel. It grabbed onto Naruto's leg and swung him, trying to hit the first one, but he jumped over his doppelganger as he flipped in mid-air. The second one slammed both his hands in the ground as Kakashi's momentum was stopped, allowing the first one to bring his heel down right towards the temple of the clone of the copy ninja. However, the Kakashi clone simply smirked before he burst into lightning, dispelling both of them. That was a variation of the Shadow Clone Jutsu, which was created by Kakashi. He named it the Lightning Clone Jutsu. After training with Naruto on a regular basis for the past 2 years, Kakashi had improved. his skills at a tremendous level and also created new ones. His skills were borderline S rank at the moment. The real Kakashi saw Naruto going through hand sign as he used his Sharingan to mimic what he did. The both of them sped through hand sign water style, water dragon jutsu. Pulling up water from the nearby pond over to the side, the two beasts roared as they rushed towards one another. They collided and flooded part of the training ground. With practice ease, the both of them stood on top of said water. Kakashi was slightly out of breath due to the high amount of chakra that he has been using today. Even though his chakra reserves had increased a lot in the last couple of years, its constant activation of the Sharingan had always had a drain on him, hence he tired easily in a long-range battle. He looked towards Naruto as Naruto smirked. He was confused about Naruto's reaction until Naruto mouthed the words, "Great clone explosion." The clone exploded violently as all the water was blown away. Kakashi leaped away from the area. Of course, it had to be a clone, he thought, as he stood in a tree looking down, as water was raining down everywhere. As he reached up and held on to the bark of the tree, when he felt a metal pressing against his neck. He looked back to see Naruto standing behind him, a kunai placed at his neck. Naruto had also worked a lot with Shisui over the past 2 years, and Naruto was glad that Shisui helped him with the Sunshin, as most thought that it was just a teleportation jutsu, but Naruto had integrated with his fighting style, similar to Shisui. "You lose, big brother Kakashi," said Naruto with a smirk. "Well, you got me again," said Kakashi, giving an eye smile, as he pulled his headband down to cover his Sharingan eye. The both of them proceeded to sunshine towards the house, as Naruto collapsed on the sofa. "That was a good spar," said Naruto as he lay on the sofa. The both of them had made a regular routine of sparring with one another, whether it be in taijutsu or ninjutsu. Over the past 2 years, Naruto had thoroughly trained in the arts of ninjutsu, taijutsu, and genjutsu. Although he was proficient in using all chakra natures, he felt more comfortable in using fire, water, and wind. However, the area that he improved upon the most was senjutsu. Even the Toad Elders and Jiraiya were shocked how quickly he could enter Sage mode. Initially, it had took him around 5 to 6 seconds, but now he could do it instantly. It was like the chakra in the world was always on the constant move around him, and whenever he needed it would rush into his body. The kind of things that he could do with senjutsu was beautiful, but yet rather terrifying. "You're only 7 years old, and it's becoming almost impossible for me to beat you in a spar," said Kakashi. "You have come a really long way since the day we started training together. You should be proud of yourself." As Naruto's eyes curved up into an eye smile, as he rubbed the back of his head. "Thanks, big brother," he said. "I really appreciate it, hearing that coming from you," as he smiled towards him. Kakashi's eye smile, the blonde had grown exponentially in terms of his skills. There was no telling what kind of powerhouse he will be in the future. Well, something beyond anyone's wildest imagination. Kakashi heard snoring as he turned to see the blonde was asleep. As he placed Naruto better on the couch, seeing that he was on the verge of falling off, he then proceeded to make his way towards his house to get a bath and change his clothing. Later that evening, the young Namikaze opened his eyes as he stretched. He was now 7 years and 7 months, as he was at the height of 4 feet, 5 inches, which was pretty good for his age. He had lost majority of his baby fat, a testament of the physical exercises he has been doing in the past few years. He was wearing a full sleeve grey shirt with the Uchiha symbol on the back and black Anbu pants. The current clan head, Fukaku Uchiha, who was good friends with Naruto and Minato, had presented the both of them with the Uchiha symbol as a sign of goodwill. This indicated they were always welcome within the clan, as Naruto had black gloves on his hand, as it was a gift to him from his father. Madara Uchiha, his grandfather, had given it to Minato when he had dropped him off outside of Konoha. However, Naruto's most notable change was his hair. He had grown his hair out. The 2 bangs still came down towards his face, and it was still a bit brownish. "Crap," said Naruto. He just had that dream again. For the past years now he has been getting a dream of a 9-tailed fox and an old man. He could not remember the old man's face whenever he woke up, but he did saw that the old man had a staff of sorts, a shakido, with bells on it. Of course he knew about the Kyuubi after all this time that was sealed within him, but he had never spoken to anyone about it. He had read a few books on it a few months back, about Bijus and Jinchurikis. He was surprised there was 8 more Bijus out there, like the fox, and all of them were sealed into a person and made them a Jinchuriki. When he had found out and put everything together, he was kind of relieved. Now he understood why they look at him that way, and why he had that different chakra stored inside of him. He had been holding back from saying anything because, so far his father did not see a problem with anything regarding the fox or Naruto showing any signs to worry him about it, and besides he was still 7 years old. He believed his father was just being cautious, as Naruto went to the bathroom and washed his face. But it's about time he spoke to his father about this. He had thought the dreams would stop after a few months, but it's been over a year now. He did not hate his father for keeping something like this away from him. He could never hate his father, nor could he hate the third Hokage. He knew they had their reasons, and he understood them. From what he gathered from reading the Kyuubi, was the strongest of all Bijus, and different from the others. So he hypothesized that it would need someone with a massive life force to contain the Biju of the Nine Tails. And Naruto knew because of his Uzumaki heritage, Uzumakis were said to have the largest life force, as it mixed in with their longevity, allowing them to live extremely long. Seeing that he was the only remaining Uzumaki within the village, it was no surprise that he was the best person for them to steal the beast inside of. With that in mind, he made his way upstairs to the library, where he sensed his father was. Minato would return early today, as he decided to finish the rest of the work in the library of his house. The academy will be starting 4 months from now, September, and Minato was looking forward to the new batch, as his son Naruto will be joining this year as well. He knew that his son was far along in terms of skill and knowledge, passing everyone in the academy, and even some Jonins to be exact. But as every parent, he wanted Naruto to get more friends, make a stronger bond, and have a normal childhood despite how far he has already reached in terms of being a ninja. Most of the friends that he already have were as much older than him. The only 2 that he had his own age was Sasuke and Sakura. He chuckled as he thought about Sakura. She quickly became one of Naruto's close friends. She reminded him so much of Kushina, kind and gentle, however scary when her mood is off. Regardless, he was happy that the both of them were in his son's life. So here he was now looking at the admission forms for the academy students, and those will be teaching at the academy this year as well. As he flipped through the forms, his eyes landed on one picture of Iruka Mino. He had recently been promoted to the Chunin rank, and he had applied for the job as the academy teacher. He knew the boy well during his time as a Jonin, as he smiled fondly. Even though his parents were killed during the Kyuubi attack, he knew that he would not act indifferently towards Naruto. He will be a good teacher for Naruto, he thought. He heard footsteps as he turned to see Naruto making his way there, but he noticed Naruto's eyes seem off. "What is it, Naruto?" he said. "What happened?" "Father, I want to talk to you about something. And I want to ask you a favor." As Minato walked over and crouched down to his level. "It's okay, Naruto," he said. "You can tell me anything. What happened?" As he was worried about the look on his son's face. "I've been having these dreams for over a year now," said Naruto. "At first I thought nothing of it. Then it continued to happen regularly. I thought it would stop after a while, but it did not stop." "Well, why don't you tell me about it?" said Minato. It's about the Kyuubi, father. I know that Sandaime Jiji seal the fox inside of me because of my Uzumaki heritage. I have been seeing the fox inside of a dream that I have for the last year. And there is always an old man there as well, with a shakijo, but I can never see his face." Minato froze as he heard Naruto just say that. He stood there stunned. He didn't know whether to be amazed by him being able to find it out or be worried about him knowing about the Kyuubi. He knew how the villagers treated Naruto, but he cannot change the views of people who cannot look past their grief and sorrows. And at the moment he dreaded thinking his son hated him for him making him a Jinchuriki. Naruto can feel his father's emotions, so he kind of understand what he was feeling at the moment. "I can never hate you, father. Out of everyone else in this world, I love you the most. I understand why Sandaime Jiji and you decide to steal a fox inside of me. I don't even hate the villagers either. I love this village. I love Konoha and her people. I can feel it in their emotions. When I walk through the streets, they are grieving. They lost so much people during the attack. They don't hate me. They hate the fox. But I know it's hard for them to look past that hatred." Minato looked toward his son, as he couldn't believe the small, baby boy that he held in his arms almost 8 years ago, was speaking this way. A tear ran down his cheek as he realized the full impact of the words Hiruzen spoke to him all those years ago. Flashback. Sir Toby Hiruzen was down on the ground panting. The Shiki Fusion seal on his chest was clearly visible, that he had used to seal the 9 tails. His entire body was burning from the inside. He did not count on the chakra being this strong or potent. He was aware that he was going through with his final breaths, making the ultimate sacrifice as he was going to die, protecting the village and all the people inside. Glanced towards left, he saw the young boy, Naruto Namikaze, who he had sealed the yang half of the Kyuubi inside of. Seeing Minato cradle the boy in his arms, a brilliant smile came on his face. He knew he made the right decision. A Jinchuriki life is hard. They should not go through that alone. Naruto just lost his mother on this day. Hiruzen would be damned if he allowed him to lose his father as well. Someone had to be by his side. As Minato approached him with Naruto in his arms. "Thank you, Hokage-sama," he said, saying that with pride and respect. "You don't know how grateful I am for what you have done for me tonight." Hiruzen's eyes looked towards him with a look of mirth and happiness. "A shinobi, life is not measured by how much you live, but how he dies," Hiruzen said with a smile between breaths as Hiruzen raised a hand as he caressed Naruto's cheek. "He's the hero of Konoha. A day will come when you will see the will of fire burn brightly within his eyes. He was born during time of great chaos and darkness, but he will be the one to shine a light upon this shinobi world, so bright and encompassing that it will swallow all, removing said darkness. An everlasting light," Hiruzen said, glancing downwards, as a smile on his face remained as his eyes came to a complete close, dying right there and then. As that was the end of the Professor, the God of Shinobi. End of flashback. You are right. The will of fire does burn brightly inside of him. Minato thought, remembering Hiruzen's last words. "I'm sorry, Naruto," said Minato, "that I did not tell you about this sooner. I was worried how you'd react, and I was going to wait until you were older." "I know, father," said Naruto. "It's alright." As Minato looked toward his son with a smile. The favor. I want to speak to the Kyuubi." Minato blinked. You want to speak to the Kyuubi?" "Yes, I want to speak with it." Minato's face became serious hearing Naruto's request. As Naruto saw the serious look on his face, honestly, he himself did not know why he wanted to speak with the Biju. He did not hate the beast, or did he like it? Because what he has read so far was on the point of view of humans. He wanted to understand the Biju, how they were, how humans made them out to be. When he tried to feel the chakra that was inside of his body, all he felt was hatred, malice, and a hint of loneliness. Naruto said, "Minato, is face serious? Why do you wish to speak with the Kyuubi?" Minato was sure that he could suppress the Kyuubi with his Mangekyou Sharingan if need be, and the cage was strong enough to hold back the fox. But he wanted to know what was behind his son asking this request. "I want to understand the Biju, father. Why is it that they exist? Everything that we know is from a human point of view, who hate the creatures. That's all we know." Minato was a bit taken back by that response, as he looked toward his son that was giving him a look of nothing but steely cold determination. His son was adamant on this. Minato nodded. Within a few minutes, Naruto sat in a cross-legged position. Minato sat in front of him. His blue eyes shifted from blue to red. That is when the three totem could be seen. They start to spin in a counter-clockwise position as he looked into his son's eyes. Moments later, Naruto mindscape. Both Minato and Naruto appear inside of some kind of sewer. Glancing up, they saw pipes running on the walls, as some of it was leaking a red liquid that fell down into the steaming water. Both Minato and Naruto looked toward each other as they started to walk, following the pipes. They then passed through a corridor as they came across a massive, gigantic gate, closed shut, with a sealing tag on it, right in the dead center. Naruto looked inside the cage, but all he saw was an empty darkness. He stepped forward to go through until Minato placed a hand on his shoulder. Wait, Naruto. The fox will show itself. That is when they felt it, as the darkness gave way to two massive red eyes. The body got illuminated as they saw the flicker. The 9 flowing tail flicking behind the beast. There it was, the greatest beast they ever walked this earth, the 9 tails, stronger than all the others. As Naruto stood there, the fox just looked at him, neither of them breaking eye contact. Before, when he tried to feel out the beast, all he felt was lonely, hate, malice, but now, he felt so calm. Naruto smiled. His Senjutsu chakra started to soothe the beast, as it swelled over the entire place, giving a calm, radiating feeling throughout Naruto's mindscape. It was strange, but he could also feel, like the Kyuubi could also feel him. 5 minutes like that as neither of them move away, or they blink. They just stare at one another, as Naruto saw something within the fox's eyes. They were both the same. They both were hated and scorned by the villagers. They were considered demons. They both knew the meaning of loneliness. They knew the meaning of hatred. They both were forced upon each other, and they knew the definition of strong. They were the same, in more ways than one. Naruto understood him. He was misunderstood. He was lonely. Humans fear his power, and they hated him. As Naruto gave the fox a smile, and a nod of his head, the fox replicated that smile and nodded his head as well. It is said, when two people can feel each other's emotions, they do not need words to express themselves. Because when you can feel each other at such an intimate level, you cannot help but love them. Minato was standing here throughout all of this as he watched their interaction. He knew that his son could feel someone's emotion, yet he did not understand what it was Naruto was trying to achieve here. His eyes widened when he saw Naruto smile and nod, and the fox doing the same. "I'm sorry for what has happened to you," said Naruto, after a long moment of silence, surprising Minato. "I know," the fox said to him, as Naruto raised his right hand and formed it into a fist and outstretched it towards the Kyuubi. "Naruto!" Minato was about to stop his son when he came to a stop, as he saw the fox raising his face as well. The way they looked at each other, the way Naruto had befriended the Kyuubi. He saw the look in the fox's eyes, as the fox was looking towards Naruto with no malice, no hatred. He just looked towards him with a look of understanding. The moment their fists bumped together, everything between them was brought out for both to see, and Naruto saw everything. He knew about the sage. He knew about Hagoromo Sasuke the sage. He knew about his 2 sons, Indra, Ashura. He knew the reason behind this hatred in the war-torn world. The reason why he felt he was different than other people. As Naruto looked towards his hands and looked at the sun and moon. But most important though, he knew the type of person his mother was. "I will save you one day, Kurama," said Naruto, giving the fox a smile. "Naruto?" said Minato. "Yes, father?" "What just happened?" said Minato, confused by what is going on. "Kurama, can you show my father what you showed me?" The fox lifted his head up as he glanced over towards Minato. "Madara's son," he said, with a growl, making Minato's sweat drop at his reply. "Hey, he's my grandfather, okay?" said Naruto. He said in a childish way. His grandfather and his father was his idols. He wouldn't let anyone badmouth them. The fox looked down towards Naruto. "Fine, whatever," he said, as he outstretched his hand, holding it up for a fist bump. Minato looked towards his son and towards the fox. "It's alright, father," said Naruto. Give him a fist bump. Once, Minato and the fox fist connected, as Minato trusted his son enough to do it. Once they broke apart, Minato was silent, as he just looked down to the ground, his hair shadowing his eyes. It was overwhelming, everything. As he glanced towards his son, he then walked over towards him. He then picked Naruto up, as he started to pat him on the head. Naruto became flushed in embarrassment. "Father," he said, as Kurama was watching this. "Shh, let me talk, okay?" said Minato, as Naruto looked down embarrassed. "I have never believed in destiny," he said. "I always believed that one forged their own path through hard work and destination. But what I learned right now is extremely overwhelming. But it does make sense for the Shinobi world current situation. I have always thought of you to be special, but that is every parent's duty, to think how special their kids are. Like every parent, it is my duty to believe in you, to guide you through any darkness that might show its path in your way, and stand alongside you within the light. So it doesn't matter if you're the child of prophecy or that we are both descendants of the Sage of Six Paths. You are Naruto Namikaze's son, of Kushina Uzumaki and Minato Namikaze. That's what you will always be to me. I will always believe in you, Naruto." Minato finished as he kissed his son on his forehead. As Naruto could feel the love his father had for him, it made him feel so warm to be within his embrace. It made him feel safe. He knew who he was and what he had to do. As Naruto engulfed his father into a tight hug. "Enough with the mushy scene. It's giving me a headache," Kurama said, as he laid his head on his paw. Today was the day that a friendship was born between the three of them. Something that would change the unforeseen future. Time skip. 5 days later, Konoha. Naruto sat near a lake, as today was a resting time for him. His father and Kakashi was busy, as Naruto was relaxing where he was. It was late evening and the sky was rather clear. He was joining the academy in the coming months, and Naruto was excited on making new friends. He wondered if Sakura will be joining too. "I should ask her," he thought to himself, as Naruto allowed his ability to spread throughout the village, feeling everyone's emotions, happy, sadness, and some of them were horny. He had learned a thing or two about Kakashi about that, because that was something he didn't understand when he first felt it. Not to mention with Kakashi always reading those orange books, it piqued his interest. One day he had read it, and it had scarred him. As Naruto got up from where he was, as he decided to satisfy his ramen urges, as he was walking, his eyes came across to a girl the same age as him. As Naruto could instantly tell that she was a Hyuga, judging from the lavender eyes that she was dressed, in also a lavender kimono with tiny blue butterflies on it. "Hinata-sama, it's getting late. We must return soon. Your mother is waiting for you," the branch member with her told her. As Naruto saw her leave, she glanced, as their eyes met. For reasons unknown to him, he waved at her, as she walked off with her caretaker. "Hinata, huh? That's a pretty name," he thought, as he stuffed his hands in his pockets and made his way. Meanwhile, at the border edge of the grass country, it was late in the night, as shinobis were gathered. 3 of them to be exact. They were covered in black masks and also black cloak. These individuals were ninjas from within the Hidden Stone, as they were given an assassination mission from their Tishikage, provided with help within Konoha. Hence they were traveling at an incredible fast pace to meet with their informant. However, not everyone in the team was made aware of the identity of their target. Due to the sensitivity of the mission only, the team captain was briefed about the target and the detail. Once they were finally in the borders of Hinokuni, one of the members spoke up. "Teiko, who's our target?" Without taking his eyes off the dark path, the captain replied, as he was a sick smile on his face. "Naruto Namikaze," he said, as they made their way in the darkness. The next day, Naruto had some breakfast with Jiraiya and his father. Naruto had bonded a lot with Jiraiya over the past 2 years. Not only has Jiraiya trained him, but he also took him to Mount Miyamoku on several occasions, where Naruto met his little friends. His little toad friends that been. He has become quite good friends with them given his natural aptitude for senjutsu. His father went off to the office once. That came to an end to get some paperwork finished. Jiraiya had to leave the village once again to gather some information revolving around the Hidden Stone and their interest in the civil war that is currently going on at Kiri, that had divided the village into 2 halves. The Mizukage, the Three Tails, Jinchuriki, has somehow gone mad believing that the bloodline users were too dangerous and that their blood was tainted, so he intended to kill thousands of his people, innocent people, leading to 2 factions. As Naruto had to meet with Sakura today, so he had headed out. Later that afternoon, at the Valley of the End. At the Valley of the End. The Valley of the End was a monumental place, with the two greatest statues of the first Hokage and Mother Uchiha. It was a location that they had changed the landscape, showing what happened when godlike shinobis fight. Three shinobis could be seen emerging from behind the statue of Mother Uchiha. They quickly crossed the lake as someone was standing on the other side. It was their informant / assistant. The leader looked towards him. The boy looked rather young. "Who are you, boy?" the leader said, looking towards him. "We are the roots that protect the village from the shadows," replied the boy, as the team leader nodded at the code. The young boy handed him a folder, but the stone ninja looked at it with suspicion. There's no need to look with suspicion. The folder contained the information regarding the boy. You know your job well. Get him back to the hidden stone, dead or alive. If you keep your deal, our master would be willing to cooperate with Tishikage-sama. The boy said in a blank, almost robotic tone. Don't tell me how to do my job, kid. That bastard son will be dead tonight. Do not fail the mission, were the words of the boy before he vanished. Let's rest for a few minutes. Tonight, the hidden stone shall have their revenge against Yellow Flash, the leader ordered. Later that evening, within Konoha, Naruto had spent the first half of the day training and practicing by himself. His father was busy with Hokage duties, Itachi. He hadn't seen him. Kakashi and Shizu were all away on missions, as there was only a few people that he had close bonds with within this village, as Sakura was one of them. She had become his good friend, as he silently walked towards the playground, with his hands in his pockets. As he was dressed in a new yukata that was black and red, the color of the yukata had 9 megatamas, which was the fox idea. Seeing Naruto's predicament, Kurama spoke up. "Loner," he said. "Hey, no one asked you, and I'm not a loner," said Naruto. I'm a very astute child who like to indulge in adult conversations, so it's hard to find someone like me, okay?" said Naruto. "That was pathetic, even for you," the Kyuubi said, with a snicker. Deciding to ignore his friend's humiliation of him, Naruto arrived to see that the park was pretty much empty. Strangely enough, he did not know where she lived. Thinking of that made him realize how stupid that was. He should probably ask her. That is when he heard two people talking, moving as he saw they were down, near over towards the sand. Backside, Naruto made his way to realize that one of them was Sakura, as she was with someone else. Surprised, it was the same girl that he saw the previous evening. "Sakura-chan," said Naruto, gaining their attention. Sakura turned as she heard his voice. Her cheeks turned a bit red, but they quickly returned back to their normal color after a second. It's been some time since she last saw Naruto, as she got up from around the sandbox and made her way towards him. "Naruto-kan," she said, "what are you doing here?" As Naruto was surprised how much she had changed. Well, it has been a few months if he was not mistaken. Her pink hair was no longer, and she now had a dark pink ribbon on her forehead. A red color t-shirt with a black skirt with polka dots designed on them. As Naruto rubbed the back of his head in a sheepish way. "Well, my dad is kinda busy today, and I don't really have anyone to spend time with or talk to. I thought I might come visit you. It's been a long while since we met up, you know," he said. She was about to reply when she realized that she was not alone here, as she motioned for her friend to come over. "Naruto-kan, this is my best friend, Hinata Hyuga. We met a few months ago in the same park. She usually come here with her mother." Naruto extended his hand. "I'm Naruto Namikaze. It's a pleasure to meet you," he said. Hinata herself did not have many friends. Being a part of the prestigious Hyuga clan, it was mandatory that she had a bit of nobility around herself. She was rarely allowed to go out, and there was a few occasions that her mother took her out towards the park. After her sister Hanbi was born 2 years earlier, well, her parents had been busy taking care of the little baby. Although they never secluded her, and they loved her immensely, she often felt alone due to her lack of friends. She had been trained in the arts of the Hyuga clan since the age of 5. Hayashi could not be any prouder seeing that his firstborn had such an aptitude with the Jayugen. She had her father talent in the Jayugen, and her mother kind and gentle nature. Her training in the shinobi field and her status of clan here, well, it often got in her way of making friends. That led to her being rather quiet when she did not know someone. But she knew who he was. I mean, who in the village did not know who he was? He was the son of Minato Namikaze, also the grandson of Madara Uchiha, one of the greatest traitors in Konoha history. Her father had told her about the Namikaze clan when she was made to study politics. Because of the Yondaime actions in the Third Great Shinobi War, the clan had also gained prestigious and royal status within the village. Thus, she was surprised by his offer of friendship. She remembers seeing him last night and she wanted to say something, but she never got the chance. "Hello, Naruto-kun," she said. "I am Hinata. It's nice to meet you." Sakura looked towards both of them in amusement. She knew that the both of them belonged to major clans, and neither of them had much friends. As she nudged both of them, "Well, are the both of you going to be holding each other's hands all night? Let's go and sit somewhere." The both of them blinked as they realized that they were still holding one another's hand as they broke apart, following Sakura. As the three of them went to go and speak, to become new friends, unaware that something was coming their way, danger, especially for Naruto. One said that is the actions of a man past that mold him for the future. This is definitely going to be one of those key moments that mold how a young belong. However, sometimes actions could change one point of view from the most kind and sweet individual to one of the most ruthless and most dangerous individual. But it always depends on the people that you have around you and how you take to these people. Well, we'll just have to see next time how this pans out, because I'm going to be ending this episode right here. If you want the next part, go ahead and smash that red subscribe button and become part of the Making family. And yeah, I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace, guys.